Hey guys, welcome back to Next Level. This is me, Suraj, and I have with me Mr. Madan Matthew. And today we'll be doing our show on the Zoom platform because, we are having the corona pandemic. And so everyone should stay at home and be safe. So we're doing the same. But while we're doing that, we don't want to leave you out. So Mr. Madan Matthew is a leadership coach, behavioral trainer, and a learning and development expert. So today's topic is about change readiness. As we know, we're all in this pandemic situation right now, and we all have to learn how to overcome this obstacle, and we need to be ready for change. So let's have it from Mr. Madan on how we can be ready for change. Today's episode, change readiness. Over to you, Mr. Madan.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Suraj. It's nice to connect through this new platform. Well, Suraj, one of the key aspects of change is human beings, as we grow older, they say we become slaves of our own habits. We start developing certain patterns. We start developing certain designs, and to some extent, we can call ourselves as territorial creatures because we are very comfortable within our territory, within our comfort zone, and when we are pushed out of that territory, or if something invades that comfort zone or expects us to step out of the comfort zone, we react. And one of the early reactions is resistance. We in fact resist change. And unfortunately, the older we grow, the resistance is much higher. That's why they say that older people are very difficult to convince, or they're very difficult to change your mind. I'm sure we all have experiences with that.
Parents,
right?
And especially grandparents, very difficult to, get them to accept new view on some.
Talk about it, because I'm a parent now and I have 3 children, and I'm sure they are talking among themselves that daddy is difficult to crack sometimes. However, there are so many materials available on the net. People keep talking about change management, change readiness. To some extent, this has become like a cliched topic, like a fad. However, I just would like to share from my own life experience the 3 things that I normally look into whenever I am challenged with change. Number 1 is to learn, and to learn to unlearn, and to relearn. So I'm going to repeat it again. We should learn, and we should learn to unlearn, as well as we should relearn. When I was a child, we had our first refrigerator at home. And that fridge, those days, the olden model used to have something called a defrost button. Because after some point of time, the entire fridge will get frosted and clogged with this solid ice everywhere. So at that time, you need to press this defrost button. Then that entire ice which is formed, the frozen parts, will liquefy, water will come down, and then the water will get collected beneath the fridge, and then we need to throw it. And then the fridge will work fine for a few days until it gets frozen again, and we do the defrostation. Now, am I talking about the fridge, or am I talking about our lives? Even in our lives, we get frozen to our own habits. Certain habits, certain methods of doing things, certain activities, we get frozen. And we don't want to change or look beyond any other ways to step out of that frozenness. Now that's when we need to press the defrost button. So I would relate to my point. The frozen part is the learning. Certain things we learn, we inculcate, we imbibe, and it becomes our second nature. But when we realize that this is something has become obsolete, this is something we need to change, then we need to press the defrost button, which is the unlearn. And once you unlearn the old habits, unlearn the obsolete habits, we need to relearn the new method or the new way of doing things. So this is the first thing we need to understand. And to give a very easy example, it can be about our driving in the Middle East. Because in India, I used to drive my car on the right side. I was frozen to that. And when I came to Gulf, I was trying to drive the car here and my left hand would automatically go towards the gear. Whereas here on the left side, you will only find the window because I'm sitting on the left side and driving. So I had to press the defrost button. I had to unlearn my Indian way of driving the vehicle. And then I had to relearn the Gulf way of driving the vehicle, including the speed aspects, including following the lanes. Because in India, any lane that I go is my lane. But here you can't do that. You need to learn the new ways, right? So that's the first thing. We need to learn, unlearn, and relearn. All right?
And we need to remember to defrost.
Exactly. That is your...
We cannot be as rigid as ice, we need to be like water, flow like water.
Absolutely. And that is the process of relearning. We have to press the defrost button by unlearning and relearning. Thank you, Suraj, for pointing that out. Second point is to be open and also to be flexible in our lives. Many times we think my ways are the best ways, and we keep telling ourselves, I cannot change from this. This is it. I think I had it enough. This is my way. It's either my way or the highway. That's what that's what many people believe. And we need to understand, if we want to change, we need to be open for different ways of doing the same thing, for newer ways of doing the same thing. For example, I used to think to myself that as a learning and development professional, I'm only good in classroom training. So I used to get people into classroom and I used to train them. And suddenly people started challenging me that you should go online. You should go to maybe YouTube channel, or you should take live webinars through WebEx. And that was a challenge which came in front of me 4 years ago in the year 2015-16. And it was very difficult for me to make the change. But I was open and I was flexible to learn the new methods and technology. And of course, in today's scenario, many people are getting open and they are getting flexible. In fact, even my parents, who are above 70 years now, they are into Zoom every day. Every day they know how to operate Zoom and how to get in touch with me. So it is happening right now because of the pandemic. So we should continue to be open and we should be flexible. And the last point, not the least point, is for us to have a just do it attitude. Like the Nike advertisement, just do it. Sometimes waiting for us to be convinced about something and then changing may not be the best idea. Some things you may not be convinced, but if that demands a change from you, just start doing it. Over a period of time, you will start realizing the value of it. Over a period of time, you will start understanding that in the end of it all, this is good. Just do it attitude. For example, I can quote our own channel, The Next Level, as an example. Because in the beginning, we were thinking, should we do it or not? I'm not convinced whether people will like it or not. But I remember you encouraging me and so many others encouraging me. And then I said, okay, let's just do it. Okay. And once you start doing it, when you get into the momentum of doing something new, all right, you will start seeing the advantage and the benefits of it. So don't wait for the auspicious time. Don't wait for the auspicious day, or don't wait for the time that you will be fully convinced to either go to a gym or fully convinced to go and learn a new course or a new skill or something. You may not be convinced, but just do it. And after you doing it, you will definitely be convinced that you did the right thing and you will not regret. So these are some things that I do, and I hope it is useful for all of us as well. Over to you, Suraj. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So guys, we learned a couple of things about how to be ready for change. And this is especially a very important time for us to be prepared, and we should have we should have the right outlook on how we should be handling this change, especially during this quarantine time, because a lot of people are not used to it. So to recap, here's what Mr. Madan shared with us. The first thing on how to be ready for change and changing our mindset is learn to unlearn, and also then relearn. So you have to learn to unlearn, and relearn. If you want a quick way to remember that, just remember to defrost. Be like water. Don't be rigid. Be like water, flow like water. The second thing, be open-minded and flexible. Try new things. And this is very important because you never know if one of these new things could turn out to be a new opportunity. If you don't try it now, a circumstance will force your hand. A circumstance will force your hand and you might not like it. So you better be prepared in advance so that when the circumstance presents itself, you're like, I'm ready. The third and final thing was the Nike attitude. Just do it. Just do it, because you just have to start small. Normally, we're resistant to change because we think about the end goal and it's very big. But we just need to start small. Just do it. The small step, and this small step picks up momentum. And these three things combined: learn to unlearn, defrost, be open-minded and flexible. And number three, the Nike attitude, just do it, start small. These three things combined will make you a very powerful person and ready to adapt to any change. Because we know in this world, it's not the smartest, not the strongest that survives. It's the one that's the most adaptable that survives.
Absolutely. I really like the way you summarize, Suraj. And I just wanted to pick up one aspect that you mentioned. And I just would like to quote it saying, if we do not embrace change, we will be forced to change. So exactly. That's something we need to remember. So better to embrace change with an open arm. If not, there will be a time where we'll be forced to change. So thank you for summarizing it in a beautiful way.
And thank you for these valuable 3 points, Mr. Madan. So that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys got some valuable advice on how to change and change your mindset, because this is very important for you. And please subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this, and like this video if you liked it. I'm sure you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. It helps us and helps us make more videos like this, so then we'll know. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.